Hey guys, JH, welcome to the practice tee. Now there's a bit of a rough old practice tee today. I've just been banished down at the bottom of my property down here. They're doing some work on my house up there at the normal practice tee, and my wife doesn't want me to get in the way. Okay, guys, today's video is going to be called Hybriding Moe Norman. Okay, we'd all like to swing like Moe Norman, and we'd like to have his absolute mechanics, but the reality is, guys, we can't. We're not built like Moe. We don't have his timing, and we'll just never ever swing like the great man. I've never seen anyone swing like the great man. There've been a couple of guys that swing, you know, in a similar fashion, but you know, nobody with the type of motion and process that Moe has. So guys, if you want to use the Moe Norman mechanics, you don't have to adhere, you know, absolutely and strictly to the mechanics. You can do what I'm going to advocate today, and that is hybrid the system a bit. I hybrid the system. I've never swung like Moe Norman because I'm not built like Moe Norman. And of course, what we saw with Moe Norman later in his life was a different shape Moe Norman and a different, you know, body componentry. Moe became very stocky and put on some weight, where when he was young he was very, very thin, extremely so. But the basic tenet and the principle of his swing never changed, and that is that it was a single plane golf swing. Now guys, when we talk about single plane, it's basically if we can get the golf club to go back and down on the same plane or as close to that, then that's optimum. That is probably the most efficient way to swing a golf club. But it doesn't have to be the same angle of single plane that Moe had, which is very important. You know, Moe had this type of single plane. You can have a single plane where you're not quite as high as Moe. Okay, technically you've got to have the shaft and the right arm in line to have a single plane, but you can hybrid that. You can have it down a little bit, and you can swing the club a little bit more this way, and you can be a little bit more comfortably orientated when you're set up, rather than that rigid or rigidized look about Moe. And of course Moe hit it with the feet on the ground, but that's because Moe hit millions of golf balls like that, and he worked that out, and that suited him, and that suited his balance factors. I don't do that. I've never done that. You know, I've got sort of a variation of that. So guys, what I think you should try is okay, work out a way of having as close as you can to a single axis, and employ the other thing that Moe had that made his swing very consistent. And I actually pulled it out of him. I haven't heard anyone else talk about it ever, but I asked Moe what his ignition move was and how he got the golf club going in the backswing, and he said, I just throw the club back there. The other thing was, I said, what do you think about in your backswing? He said, I don't have a backswing, I just throw the club back there. He said, like Hogan, we just threw it back there. We didn't take it back, we just threw it back there. And what he meant was, and I went into asking him, and I put forward my interpretation of that. I said, so Moe, if you're throwing it back just like that, I would suggest that if that process is taking place, then that is basically a pure orbiting piece of mass, because you're letting it orbit. You're letting the mass move without any inhibited processes, and you're not adding to it. You're not taking it out of orbit. And he thought about that, and he said, yeah, I guess that's probably what it is. And so I call it the throwback. And by that, guys, I mean he threw the club back, and where it went, it went. And it doesn't matter where it goes for you because of your height and size, and the length of your arms and the way you want to stand. But the basic premise, I think, as long as you adhere to, is to have a single plane and let the golf club have free rein. Now what does that mean? The throwback, guys, is just that. It's a throwback. We just get it like the rock on the piece of string or the tennis ball on the piece of string, which I've mentioned many times. And that is that it's just thrown back here. And we saw that with Moe, but nobody talks about it. But I saw that with Hogan. He just threw the club back, just bang, just threw it back there. Threw it back there. Now if And the good thing about that, guys, is if you throw it back and you throw it back with intention, as soon as you throw it back, it'll set itself, cock the club, and the body will be already going that way as a balance against the mass moving this way, which is the head of the golf club. So I say try and apply this throwback process in the golf swing. Just throw the club back there, but throw it back purely. And I asked Mo, I said, what about your ignition? How do you get the golf club moving? And he said, for me it really is something that I do in my hands. And I said, well, what hand and how do you what do you do in your hands? He said, I just feel that if I had something stuck to the toe of the golf club there, that I want to fling it off in the backswing. I said, how do you do that? He said, how would you do that? And I got the golf club and I did that. I said, well, I push the butt of my left hand down and I pull the club up with those two centre fingers. I push it down there and I throw it like that. I just toss it behind me, like that. And he said, well, that's what I do. He said, that's what I do. I feel that. I feel that in the golf swing. And if you saw him, guys, that's what he did. He folded that right arm and he pulled the club with that right hand and he pushed it with the butt of the left hand. And that pushing with the butt of the left hand and throwing it back there, that set him up for the butt stab on the golf ball. So guys, what I'm saying is that feel the head of the golf club. Feel the head of the golf club. I spoke to Ken Venturi in America and I asked him about Hogan, because he spent a lot of time around Hogan. And a lot of guys did. And I said, you know, we saw this with Hogan. Was he rehearsing the shot? He said he probably, there was that element in there. But he said, I just think he was getting the club mobile for the backswing. And at the time I wasn't sort of thinking about the throw. But that made, later on when I was, you know, talking to Mo about it, I mentioned that discussion I had with Venturi. And Mo said, well, Hogan did the same. He said, Hogan, you saw Hogan doing this. And then Hogan was here and then he just threw the club back. Just threw it back and turned against it. So it's very interesting, guys, isn't it? So all we want to do is throw the club back. This is a throwback. And by doing that, just let your body respond. As I say, the main thing with the Mo swing is if you can swing the club on plane, just swing it on plane and let this have free rein. When I say swing it on plane, you can only swing it on plane if you let this have free rein. Just let it have free rein. If you try and take it back and put it in place, there's no way that you can swing it on plane. This is pure orbital mechanics, guys. If you do that, that's a pure orbit. And Mo had the best orbit of all. And believe it or not, you know, he didn't actually swing on the same plane. He took it back and he came over his backswing plane slightly, as did Bobby Jones and as did Sam Snead, two other amazing ball strikers. He swung it here and he just went just a little bit over the top. But, you know, don't worry about that. But that was just an absolute facet of his golf swing. Now, guys, it's going to be tough here today. My wife's banished me down here. I shouldn't be saying that. You guys say, what a wuss you are, being kicked off your practice tee. I let her control that. I think that's a good idea. Then I can come out here and waste all the time and I don't get pulled into mowing the grass when I've got to mow it or clean the gutters out. Not all the time anyway. So guys, it's pretty rough down here, but this is my area of solitude. I come down here and escape. This is down the bottom of my property down in the river. And this is pure Australian bush, as you can just see here. This is, and well, I haven't mowed any of the stuff here because I didn't know I was going to be down here today, so it's pretty rough. But guys, I just hit a couple of shots, and all I'm trying to do is just let this club do that, and whatever my body does as a reaction to that, then that's my Mo mechanics. That's as much as I can put into the Mo mechanics for me. That's as much as I can put into it. So what we want to do, guys, we want to throw this as if it's going to throw and keep going. I've mentioned this before. Just throw it, and as if it was going to keep going. But as you're throwing it, throwing the toe of the club, throwing it there, you're turning this way, or you're moving this way. Whether you slide, or you have a little bit of rotation like I do, it doesn't really matter, as long as you swing the club on plane. Very hard for us to do what Mo did, because he was quite unique in the way he did that. I've never been able to do it, and I've hit a lot of balls, and I've done a lot of clinics with the Mo Norman stuff. There's a massive big kangaroo up here, guys, just enormous. These are Eastern Greys. They look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Man, they're big. It's 5:15 Eastern Daylight Time here, guys. It's still 33 degrees Celsius, and it's about 110% humidity. It's awful. Okay, guys, I just hit a couple of shots and I haven't hit any, and I'll just show you what I mean with this throwback. So I'm just going to get the golf club, I'm going to pull it with that right hand, I'm going to push the butt down, and I'm going to feel the ignition move in the golf club. And I'm just going to let it keep going that way. I have no intention to let the club, to bring the golf club down. None whatsoever. Guys, I've just got to tell one of the building guys here something. So I'll just cut here, and I'll come back and I'll hit some shots on video too. And I'll just get this out of the way. I'll be back.